It's also in Duel Links.
That I
draws
don't
one
really
card.
understand how that works either. Much too complicated.
Much too complicated. Sometimes it's simple, too much. But that was an exciting match. I hope this next match maybe will go a little more. Round one, we were like treated nicely. To
Yeah,
see
that was
we got to see both players, all their decks, go to game 5.
Yeah. It was fairly back and forth, and the decks did what they were supposed to for the most
Good
part.
players all around.
Yeah, Wyborn was pretty unfortunate for him. It didn't seem like any of his decks were getting anything going. He didn't draw the princess. He just in his Destiny Hero deck just set 2 cards to his back row.
That's not where you want to be with Destiny Heroes.
No, you want to be summoning that Celestial, fusing, fusion summoning, or just mass change into Master Hero Anki. We haven't got to see Master Hero Anki yet, but he's one of the strongest cards like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links right now.
I think we will definitely see it in this tournament because Destiny Heroes are a good deck.
Yep, hopefully we do. I'm excited. Master Hero Anki is like an interesting card, but looks like we finally are ready to go to our round 3 feature match, and this is going to be a Roy versus Ryoichi. I'm sorry, I'm so bad. Let's go. Chillin' with Chila Sunsun. How about that? And Jenkins, yeah.
With my second favorite character, Joey Wheeler.
Oh, that is spot on. So we see Joey Wheeler. He's going to
Wayne.
He's going to be probably using the last gamble dual skill. Like we saw, so Battery Man is what I'm going to guess we're looking at here. Yep, so we're going to see a Thunder Seahorse. So he's going to be able to discard the Thunder Seahorse and add 2 batter. Oh, he's going to go with Thunder Seahorse and add 2 more copies to his hand. So next turn he'll be able to do it again. Just sets a monster in his turn. So a lot of Battery Men deck use like Sphere Karibo and stuff as opposed to actual trap cards. So even though it doesn't look like he has any defense to protect him, he might hopefully have Sphere Karibo in his hand because he is up against Dr. Crowler, who is also like Kaiba, where his main dual skill you see used is beat down. So another way to like warn you, like, oh, this is probably for hire that you're facing.
Can you believe he's using Crowler over Kaiba? They both have the beatdown skill. They're actually the only 2 characters in the game with the beatdown skill.
Oh, is that right?
So typically when you're playing against one of them, since beatdown pairs so well with for hires, because it helps you reach 4,000 points of damage with fewer monsters on the field, you can usually expect that the character is piloting for hires.
Yep, so we see a very good hand here coming down for Jenkins.
Wow.
Oof.
So Beat summons Recon, Recon summons Wiz, Recon's effect destroys the face-down monster.
The micro
and it's already over.
Yeah.
Unless he has Sphere Karibo.
That was nothing.
Yeah, for hire is definitely one of the top-tier decks that we see in Duel Links right now.
Yeah, the thing with for hires is they can just win out of nowhere. They can have no field. As long as they have cards in the hand to summon with the for hire monster's effects, you start triggering all their effects and you can win instantly. And the deck is so good at winning in one turn.
You win some, you lose some. But man, I hate losing.
I also hate losing so much. But as you see how the power of for hire is ending the game just in one turn, just the beat. Having a monster that's able to special summon a monster from your hand and then still search your deck for another monster, and usually the monster you special summon has the same effect to special summon another for hire. So you get to basically pick any monster in your deck and summon it to the field anytime you open up with beat.
Right, they have such a good variety of effects too, because you have Dampa, which can destroy any face-up card, not even just face-up monsters. It can also hit face-up spell and trap cards.
Is that a limited card?
Dampa is not.
Oh, really?
None of the for hire cards are limited yet.
Yes. And since none of the for hire cards are limited, a lot of players are using enemy controller in that deck because the enemy controller is semi-limited, so they're using 2 copies in there. So it actually fits in well. It synergizes with enemy controller because enemy controller makes it even easier to beat your opponent in one turn, because if they have a monster on the field that you're not able to destroy with Danpa, then you can steal it with enemy control.
Oh, steal it.
And also, a lot of the ways you stop for hire is they have the first normal summon, use a card like Paleozoic Canadia or Forbidden Chalice to prevent them from doing anything else. But when you draw copies of enemy controller and then Mayhem for hire, you contribute the monster they initially stopped off the field, take control of one of their monsters, and then use the Mayhem for hire to bring it back and continue and keep things going. So enemy controller definitely a good card for hires.
Talk about a vicious cycle.
It just keeps on more monsters for hire.
Yeah, and the variety of effects are so good. In addition to Dampa, they have Recon, which destroys face-down cards. So now they can destroy face-up and face-down cards. You have Wiz, which can just negate spell cards.
And you gain life points when it's summoned.
And here
so
we go.
Good. Spell and crap cards gains life points.
Oh, we are doing our legendary deck, and it looks like we get another chance to see Aster Phoenix in action.
All right.
Come on, you can do it. I've already won. Why am I bothering? You're just choosing the method of your defeat.
I feel like I'm actually just in the GX world right now.
Yeah,
this is like a childhood dream of mine, like come true. All right, so we do have his normal summoner Drillroid. I don't know if he's going to follow it up with Tides of the Brethren. Oh, yep, here he goes, Tides of the Brethren.
Wow.
So he pays 2,000 life points. He gets a special summon 2 level 4 Earth Machines from his deck. But for the rest of the turn, he cannot attack or special summon monsters. But since it's turn 1, we don't have to worry about that.
Nope. So it gets Geargi Attacker, which when it's flipped, can destroy a spell or trap card, and Geargi Anchor, which when it's flipped, destroys a monster. So he can just put both of them face down if he wants to, but he's going to just leave them on the field in attack position where their attack points are highest.
So this is like an ideal opening from Jenkins, especially if he has a copy of Pulse Mine set face down. But let's see what Aster can do to pull out of this.
Come on, Celestial.
This
Decider.
This is definitely tough to beat because the first turn Ties of Brethren in the Geargia deck is one of the strongest plays it can make.
Right, so we see the normal summon Decider first, so he can activate his effect that at the end of the turn, if there's a Destiny Hero monster in his graveyard, or any hero monster, he can add it back from his grave to his hand.
Oh, he's making Dangerous.
Interesting. So he's probably just trying to make this dangerous. He's not going to try to go for like an OTK or anything, because he knows like the chances are he has a back row. Hopefully it's not Super Rush Headlong or Pulse Mine or something like that. A Super Rush Headlong would be just devastating here. Super Rush Headlong is a quick play spell that you can target one of your monsters, and if it battles with, you pick an attribute, and if it battles with a monster, that attribute, it automatically destroys it. But I think instead it is a Curse of Anubis.
Curse of Anubis.
Which is similar to Pulse Mine, so that it puts all the monsters in defense mode, and they can't be changed this turn. But unlike Pulse Mines, it doesn't stop monsters that are coming out later. So Mass Change into an Anki. If this Anki is able to get an attack off, he'll just search for another copy of Mass Change, destroy another monster, and...
Whoops.
But nope, it is a Paleozoic Canadia that's going to put that Anki face down, so... Roy using every card that he opened up with as an opening hand to kind of devastate Chillin' with Chila Sun here.
Yeah, he was kind of just stopped cold there.
But that Drillroid effect is actually going to come into play right here. Well, the Geargia Anchor is going to destroy both the monsters by his effect, so he doesn't have to destroy the defense mode monster. But if he didn't have that Anchor, that Drillroid would automatically destroy any monster in defense mode.
Yeah, so Geargia Anchor and Geargia Accelerator that can flip themselves face down and then when they flip up, their effects will activate.
Yeah, all Geargia monsters have that cool effect that once returned, you can just flip them back to face down defense mode, and then you can manually change it back to attack mode and trigger their effects.
Geargia Attacker. I misspoke. Attacker and Anchor. Drillroid attacks. It will destroy Anki with its effect. Any attack defense position monster it battles is immediately destroyed. And then Geargia Attacker and Geargia Anchor will attack directly.
Only 300 life points left, but his dual skill will be able to be triggered now. But I don't know if that's going to be enough just to get Dark City onto the field.
That's going to be tough.
Come on, Aster.
I still believe in every Destiny hero that my dad designed. It's my turn. I draw. Strut your stuff, Vision Hero Vion.
Oh, well, that's so cool. I didn't even know he like said the Vision Hero Vion's like name as he summoned it. That's great. Oh, so we sent him to see Destiny Hero Plasma in the graveyard. He's going to use Vion's second effect to banish a hero and search for a copy of Polymerization. Oh, it looks like he is running 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dangerous, so he does have a monster he can... So that's probably why he didn't go into Trinity in the other turn, because he wasn't running it. He's running 2 copies of Dangerous instead, along with 3 Master Hero Ankis, I would guess.
I summoned the best monster.
I got.
Oh, so now he doesn't have a hand, and since Celestial was in the graveyard from the other turn, he's able to banish it and draw 2 cards.
That's really good.
All right.
He could definitely benefit from a mask change.
Yeah, if he draws a Mass Change here, he could win the game in this turn.
He attacks Geargia Anchor.
So he's going to destroy it. He's going to gain. He's going to send a Destiny Hero from his deck to the graveyard. He's going to gain 200 attack for each Destiny Hero in his graveyard. Is his last card Mass Change? Nope. Looks like he did not get the Mass Change.
He had to destroy the Geargia Anchor because if he didn't, it would just flip face down, flip face up, and destroy Dangerous.
Oh, and wow.
Oh, Submarine Roid.
So
800 attack points. It can attack directly.
This is he didn't actually have a way to get rid of the Destiny Hero Dangerous, but since he had one of the required cards to use in his legendary deck, Submarine
Oh man,
being able to attack directly, not worrying about the monster on the field, and finish this duel.
That's such a random one. Doesn't even work with Ties of the Brethren.
Yeah, but it's one of the required cards
yeah.
that you have to use,
Yeah.
and you see it actually not being a bad card. Like
No.
800, that's a fifth of your life points in Duel Links.
Yeah, a lot of players actually thought when that card was first released through Cyrus Truesdale and its event, a lot of players thought it would actually see play, particularly in like a direct damage deck, similar to Marek's Right Back at You deck.
I'm a sad duelist.
Unfortunately, Aster's not having a good day so far.
Not a good day for Destiny. I should have been wearing my gray suit with my pointy hair.
Oh, yeah, that would have been so funny.
Yeah. Although he did almost fight back in that one.
He was one mass change away.
If he had drawn mass change,
I know. That's a shame.
yeah, he drew Cosmic Cyclone instead when he had less than 1,000 life points and couldn't even play it.
C'est la vie, c'est la guerre.
Yeah, but now Jenkins is up 2-0. We're on the verge of seeing another 3-0 possibly, unless Simpson can turn things around. But I'm excited to see. Let's see what deck they might use next. It's going to be another standard duel, correct?
Yes.
So we've already seen the Amazonas. Oh no, we saw the Fur Hire in the first one, right? So you might see. I hope we get to see this Amazonas deck. I'm very excited about it. The Mokuba Kaiba. It is
Yeah.
Mokuba Kaiba.
All right, this is one of the coolest things ever. Mokuba Kaiba has a skill called Kaiba Corp Bling. It is the only thing other than in-game scoring for a duel that makes the rarity of your cards relevant.
Yeah, so if you were to take 1,800 points of damage, you get to, for your turn, get to draw a prismatic card from your deck.
Prismatic or glossy.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's the bling part.
And now we see Bandit Keith on Jenkins' side. Anytime you see Bandit Keith, it's usually the dual skill they're using is Switcheroo. And the main deck that uses Switcheroo is Switcheroo.
I think it's just Switcheroo.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry, that's
Yeah,
the TCG,
the TCG card
Okay.
is,
Switcheroo is the TCG card. But Switcheroo, any time you take 1,000 life points, you can take a card in your hand, shuffle it back into your deck, and draw a new one.
And that ability can be used once per turn and twice per duel.
Yep, and you'll usually see it in like spellbook decks, mainly that use copies, like 2 copies of like Cosmic Cyclone or something.
I
to
don't like
enable
those
the dual skill.
sacrifice spells. I would not play them.
All right, so we just see a set monster here from Sunsun, so definitely not a good opening if he's using the Amazonas deck. You definitely want to have trap cards when you're playing Amazonas. So we see a Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. This is going to get everything going. He'll probably be able to either fate this monster away or set up just a fate for next turn and maybe attack into it. I would assume it's an Amazonas Swordswoman if it is Amazonas. Spellbook of Secrets. Going to search Spellbook of the Master. Spellbook of the Master requires you to have a spellcaster on the field and to reveal a spellbook in your hand, but then it gets a copy effect of a spellbook in your grave. All the spellbook cards have the restriction that you can only activate them once per turn, so Spellbook of the Master kind of lets you break that rule and copy an effect you've already used.
Oh, you can kind of clone a spell.
And that's exactly,
Right.
that is exactly what it does.
And since you're only copying the effect, you're not reactivating it.
Yeah, and so you get so he basically gets 2 Spellbook of Secrets this turn. Oh, and he opened with Silent Magician.
Silent Magician.
This duel could be over right now.
Looks very likely.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for him to come back. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and attack. He doesn't have any trap cards, so he knows he doesn't have to worry about like Amazonas Onslaught or anything banishing the Silent Magician.
Yeah, and now if Ryoichi draws the Onslaught, it'll... Well, actually, no. Silent Magician cannot negate it, but because it's a trap card. But
Yeah, Onslaught's actually a good way to
yeah,
counter
it's actually
that
very
Silent
good against
Magician.
Silent Magician because it can banish it.
Yeah, since Silent Magician has to go to the graveyard to spell summon the Silent Magician
Right.
level 8.
But he is running out of time to get it because he clearly did not have it turn 1.
But Kaiba Court Bling, maybe? He didn't actually activate the dual skill, but you see why he's using the Kaiba Court Bling.
Is that a prismatic,
Prismatic
princess?
Yep. You want to make sure you draw the princess. It's very important. Oh, is it glowing like this? I think because of the dual skill. That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
I've never seen it glow that gold. So he summons back the baby tiger when he summons the princess. Gets to add Onslaught to his hand, but unfortunately, Spellbook of Fate is going to be able to banish the Onslaught. So even if he has 2 copies of Onslaught, he'll be able to end phase, activate the Spellbook of Fate, banish one of the Onslaughts, and then try it again at the start of his turn. So chilling to chill out. Sun taking his time thinking, making sure he's down 2-0, so he knows he needs to win this game. Otherwise, he will end up losing this round.
And again, there is no time limit on Duel Links. Is that correct?
There's like a turn counter during your turn that counts down when you play,
Oh, really? Okay.
but it's a lot of time.
Right. I don't anticipate that it'll be an issue. So,
Sets a card face down.
what could be interesting is if the princess summons out Amazonas Queen, by trading in the Baby Tiger, it might be a little tough to get over the Queen and the Onslaught.
Yeah, but if you'd have to tag in that Silent Magician, he'd have to take that 1,300 points of damage.
He would have to do that.
It looks like he's just going to set one back row and go to the end phase. So I don't think he even has any other spell and trap cards in his hand to bluff to try and get the Fate not to banish the Amazon's Onslaught.
Unless he set a card that is not the Onslaught, and it's the ultimate bluff.
The next level.
He didn't even set the Onslaught.
This could be true. It could be that next level play.
But Silent Magician goes up to 3,000 attack points after Roy draws another card, making it 4 in his hand.
Spellbook of Secrets.
He'll activate it to get Spellbook to his hand, maintaining his Silent Magician's attack points.
So it seems everybody runs a Spellbook deck, I guess.
Yeah, Spellbooks is very solid. Yeah, the consistency is why it's so good. Like the same thing with For Hire. They have that one monster, like B, Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, that as long as you have that one guy, everything in your deck gets going. So you see another face down. So he's going to go to battle. He's going to try and get him to activate the Amazon's Onslaught.
Do you activate it here, knowing that it's going to get banished?
Looks like he is. So he's going to activate it. You'll probably see a chain here from Spellbook of Fate. I would assume from the hand. Oh, no, he has one set, so he probably set another one face down.
Yeah, I guess you have to activate the Onslaught there so that your opponent doesn't even have an option.
Yeah. I wonder what the reasoning was behind not just activating the Fate at the end phase. Then he'd be able to, like, Eternity, have more Spellbooks in his grave. Maybe just saving resources in general. He doesn't want to use all his... That would make more sense, yeah, to save resources. So he attacks over the Princess. The Baby Tiger's just on the field. No more Onslaught. And even if he does get his other copy of Onslaught, he can just focus the Fate on the Onslaught, and he'll never be able to get rid of this Silent Magician. So things are not looking good for Children of Chila Sun Sun.
No, it's tough, and there's only one Onslaught left. Onslaught being semi-limited hurt the Amazoness deck a lot. It's a fairly recent semi-limitation, but prior to that, pretty much every Amazoness deck played 3 copies of Onslaught. Yeah, and more importantly, they were also able to play Enemy Controller. Maybe not more importantly, but they were also able to play Enemy Controller, which is now also semi-limited.
So they can't play them together.
Right, because you can only use 2 semi-limited cards, even if they're different cards. So most Amazoness decks are basically forced to play 2 copies of Onslaught, since it's the strongest card, one of the strongest cards in the deck.
So these 3 decks, it seems, the For Hires, Amazon, and Spellbook. These everybody's running these.
Yep, they're the best decks right now for sure. And like we see a lot of Girgia, but so we were talking about like Onslaught being semi-limited. That's why we've seen some players using Odeon with Endless Trap Hell, which lets you add back a trap from your grave and shuffle all the traps in your graveyard back into your deck. So they're able to reuse multiple copies of Onslaught and kind of get by that semi-limitation rule.
So Ryoichi does summon Amazoness Queen. He actually tribute summons it and brings the Baby Tiger back to the field to join it. The Queen can be tough to get rid of, so it will at least force a Spellbook of Fate, I guess.
He could either Spellbook of Fate.
There it is.
Yeah. He could also use the Spellbook of Fate just to put the Baby Tiger into attack mode, and then if he had a copy of Spellbook of the Master, a copy of that Spellbook of Power that's in his graveyard, or he can banish it and add it back with Eternity. Yeah, he's going to put the Tiger in attack mode.
Yep.
Can't be destroyed by battle because of the Queen. All he has to do is activate Spellbook of Power and attack over that Tiger, and I'm pretty sure that would be enough.
You're right. That brings him up to 3,500. So, yeah, he can actually just circumvent the Queen.
Yep.
Yeah.
No need to banish here. We'll just go to battle. But maybe there's a Seer Karibo from Sun Sun?
That could be.
If not...
If there is, that would actually be pretty devastating, because he would have left the Queen on the field and not won the duel, so...
Yep, but nope, there is no Seer Karibo, so we are seeing another 3-0, and Jenkins is going to take it.
Wow, it's a clean sweep.
Two quick rounds.
Congratulations to Jenkins.
Solid stuff. Show the power of Spellbook. Spellbook typically has a favored matchup against Amazon, so I'm not surprised with the result here. Because, yeah, Fate being able... You can either banish the monster, but if they don't have Onslaught, or if they have Onslaught, just get rid of the Onslaughts. They can't deal with Silent Magician.
Right.
But if the spell player didn't draw the Silent Magician, it is a lot tougher of a matchup because the Spellbooks don't really have a way to do a lot of damage outside of having like a Silent Magician with Spellbook of Power.
Right. And one of the Amazoness deck's vulnerabilities is the low attack points of their monsters, to which your opponent can attack over them and deal damage. And the deck really uses life points as a resource to try to banish the opponent's monsters using Amazoness Onslaught by attacking into stronger ones.
Right.
So if you could take a lot of life points from your opponent with each attack, the Amazoness duelist will usually struggle.
Makes sense. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish Astro Phoenix could have got like some of those wins in Destiny.
I think that's the end of Aster today, right? He's not coming back.
I think we'll see more Aster.
We might see some more. Maybe we'll get. He has to get at least one win.
We need Siegfried. That's what we need. Siegfried needs to come into Duel Links. Maybe with the ensuing Valkyrie card.
Ooh, the TCG the one's coming out. Could we get a little bit of Siegfried?
Well, it's a lot of fun to do Siegfried, you know. I love to be him because he's so evil. Anyway, I believe we're about to transition over to
TCG coming up.
TCG.
Yep, the
We'll
Euro World
see you
Champion
back.
TCG 2018.
Stay tuned.